are known for is that we actually enjoy sharing knowledge and information. Great. So let's start off. So for those who may have not interacted with the Dispute Resolution Hub before, I will highlight what we do, how we came along sharing this information of mediation mentorship. At any point, if you cannot hear me, if you need me to repeat something, the chat is accessible to all of us. Feel free to write a question either to me directly or in the chat for everyone else to see, and I will be sure to answer it in that 15 minutes that I mentioned. So I will highlight what we do. I will highlight the routes that exist for you, and then we will discuss how best to determine what works for you and the often frequently asked questions. Great. So the Dispute Resolution Hub, as I said, 5 years of its existence. We are entering our 6th year of operation this year. It's been quite a ride of establishing systems and structures. But first of all, what we most believe at the DR Hub, as I will be calling it, is that we should work towards a conflict-competent society. A society that cares more about each other, that resolves its disputes better, and progress through understanding why those conflicts occur, and we are solving them faster, more efficiently through alternative dispute resolution mechanisms. Now, on a day-to-day at the Hub, I work with an amazing team of 5 administratively, and then we have committees. There are different committees, but specifically with regards to mentorship, which is what we'll discuss today, I enjoy working with the Mentorship and Educational Committee. The committees run for every 2 years. So the 2026-2027 committee leaders were just voted and elected and installed last month. It is quite a variety for those who might be interested because not everyone has the same background. Mr. John Abuya, who is chair, he has a background in law, whereas Francisca Mwai, who is our secretary, is not only a mediation trainer, but she is also has a background as a teacher. Jen Mutuku and Grace Wairimo happen to also have backgrounds in counseling psychology in addition to mediation. And Superior Oronje is quite an acclaimed human resource practitioner. She is an ombuds person in specific organizations, both regionally and internationally, and is also a mentor. So this committee is really robust, and they do care very deeply about mediation mentorship and mentorship in general, and we're very happy to have them on board. So other committees do other things like digital justice and partnerships, but this particular committee has oversight of our mentorship program. So now as we transition to discuss mentorship and why it's important, I personally believe good mentorship just requires 3 things. First, it requires a plan. So if you're a mentee, you need to figure out why you want to be mentored. Often I have seen my mentees come and say, hey, I just want to gain confidence. And that in itself is a goal, but most of the times they don't have a plan. Are you going to gain confidence through doing more matters, observing more matters, actually handling mediation matters? So a plan is really important, and a plan is always a good place to start. Second thing I think is mentorship requires a qualified mentor. So if you are looking specifically to qualify in regional or international ranks, it means that person needs to be qualified to be in those spaces for one reason or another, either through their training or their experience. And lastly, a teachable mentee. At the end of the day, the best mentorships happen where it is not just one way, it is 2-way. So the mentor is willing to listen and hear out the mentee and can learn from their experiences. and the mentee is in a space where they can be taught and can absorb new things and edit themselves where required. Now, it might sound like we are saying very obvious things, but I have often found that these are the things we forget when we start on the journey to mentorship. Allow me to remind you some other key things about why mediation mentorship is important. We have chosen to focus on mediation mentorship because in our country, it's the fastest growing space when it comes to dispute resolution. We must remember that it is not only fast growing, which means there's opportunities, but it is fast growing in that it changes so fast each and every day. So if you're seeking out a mentor, you must remember that they need to show themselves to be learning as well. I know I said the mentee needs to be teachable, but the mentor also needs to be flexible. There is generally no standardized national curriculum for teaching mediation in Kenya. We will zero in on Kenya, its requirements when we are discussing the routes that exist for you. But if you can imagine that there is no standard that has been established yet, it means best practices are even more important. So when you are looking to be mentored or to mentor, do you actually practice the best? And are you giving out the best? That is only a question you can answer in your search. Mentorship is a fantastic way to expand your opportunities. Personally, when I started and I was being mentored, I did not have any experience in family mediation matters. And now I'm talking about something that I did 10 years ago. I thought that I would stay away from family mediation matters, but my mentor then pushed me to explore those areas. And now 10 years later, it is something I deeply enjoy doing. So if you choose the right mentor, it means that even your areas of practice, things you thought you could not do, you will do, mostly based on the encouragement of a mentor. They are skilled to highlight things you cannot see within yourself. And hopefully, if you get a good mentor, it means they will share both their experiences, but also their opportunities. So by and large, those 2 pointers at the bottom that say it is good to network through mentorship, but it is also a position to expand your knowledge of what you know and what you can give to others. Remember, learning is a two-way street. You gather information, but also in the sharing of the information is how you learn. Okay, so we know why mediation mentorship is important. I have shared with you what I think makes for good mentorship and a good mentorship process. So let's now highlight the routes that exist. In the course of the DR Hub existing in these 5 years, now going 6, we have seen many, many things. Personally, as a practitioner, I've seen even more things that have led us to put together this set of information. So I will move to describe this table from your extreme right going to the left. So when you talk about what avenues can you explore for mentorship, think about them first as what we call the ad hoc mentor engagements. When does this happen? It happens when Asunta, for example, meets or asks her friend for a recommendation of someone who can support her. And I am told, hey, there is Anne. Anne really helped me and supported me. Reach out to them. They can help you get A, B, C, D. Mostly, you will note that ad hoc mentor engagements center a lot on accreditation. And I mentioned that this will focus on the Kenyan ecosystem and the realities we have seen on the ground. So you get ad hoc mentor, some person who's been recommended, you reach out to them, maybe Asunta is looking for accreditation, and I'm also looking to expand the people that I know. And Anne, who is the possible said person, tells me, okay, I have a session on Monday, come and we'll start from there. That is the example of an ad hoc mentorship. It can vary from a few days to a few months. It mostly does not have a structure unless you as a mentee has a structure and a plan, as I said earlier. Possibly you do, but a lot of those sessions focus a lot on accreditation and networking. The pros of such processes is that they are very fast. So if you are just looking for 2 more mediation sessions or 3 more mediation sessions so that you can submit and get accredited, it will work for you. As I said, quite fast. Unfortunately, such said sessions happen to lack accountability. So if your said mentor is unavailable for you, you will not really have a way to redress that and deal with that particular issue unless they're very open-minded individuals. And unfortunately for many, it has been a place where quacks have thrived. So people who are either limited in their practice, and so they're not actual mentors who've been certified anywhere. So they're looking to make a quick buck. Also for individuals who are absolutely not trained, but they have seen an opportunity and they have jumped on it, that is also where they thrive. If you choose this route, you must be ready to realize the cons, but also a plan will ensure that possibly you're able to achieve your results really fast. Now, how much does it cost? Anywhere from 2,000, and this person tells you we meet on Monday. You do this session, you pay me 2,000 ya chai na ya kuweka mafuta kwa gari. Something like that. It can be higher, it can be 5,000, it can be 10,000 based on what you agree. Right, the next one, second on your right, training institution programs. Most of us have completed our training. It is a standard set by the court annexed system that you need to be trained for 40 hours minimum to become a mediator. And most training institutions after training have also included mentorship as an option. It is an opt-in or not. And this happens with very many institutions, and it's becoming more and more common. So just to mention a few, I am not saying these are the only ones, I am only mentioning a few. So you have Amani Communities, you have Jesilo, you have Suluhu, you have MTI. All these individuals offer training and mentorship. What does that include? As said, it is opt-in or not, so you can pick it or not. Most of the costs are already catered into the charge of the training, but some require an increment. So the list that we have seen in the field, and remember I am speaking of assessing over 40 plus institutions as we speak, the cost will vary from as little as 5,000. Now the 5,000 may cover the 1 month, it might cover the 2 months or the 3 months. Every institution has its own guidelines. What do most of them focus on? Role plays and reinforcing skill sets. So because there is no national curriculum, please remember I have mentioned this. Every institution has found their own way to do mediation training. Some of them take 5 days, some of them take 10 days, others take 2 days or 3 days. To be safe, ensure it is an actual 40 hours, because if it is not, it will disqualify you if your goal is accreditation. Now they will focus on role plays and reinforcing skill sets, as I mentioned, because of the duration of length that is involved in training. So you find, for example, anyone offering less than 5 days must fit in role plays somewhere else. And at that point, that is where they are fitted into. The most positive pro for this when you consider training institutions is that because they have trained you, you have a sense of knowledge of what they do, you feel like you're continuing into a space that you are already comfortable in, and where trainers are very, very good, they have identified your weaknesses and support you to work on those weaknesses. Hence why we call it a sense of continuity and familiarity. What is the negative part of this? Unfortunately, with most focusing on role plays and skill sets, many do not actually allow you to do mediation cases. So you need to question whether they actually allow you to have that mediation experience or not. Now, do not worry, I have not jumped to Q&As just yet for frequently asked questions. We still have 2 more routes to go. The court annexed route is not strange to many of us. It is supposed to take 6 months. It is recommended to be free, but it has been known that some mentors charge you. Ile mafuta ulitoa ya gari, and for many others, ya chai is how they justify the charge. Remember, I'm speaking from experiences, therefore it is something not talked about much, but the reality is that it happens. The focus for court-annexed mentorship is that you will understand court-annexed mediation processes and you will undertake court-annexed mediation cases. The definite pro is that it will guarantee your accreditation when you are done. The timelines, although are set to be 6 months, they do vary from time to time because it takes some time for your documentation to be filed and then for it to reflect that you are actually accredited. The biggest con is that although you will be accredited, there is no guarantee for you to receive a case allocation as soon as you're accredited. And then there's the all-time challenge of the fact that many people, even after taking up the matters, have to wait for payments for extended periods of time. So that is a tough one. Last route that I will introduce you to is the program that we created at DR Hub. I mentioned that we've done this for 5 years. We've attempted many versions of programs when it comes to mentorship until we arrived at this one, where we have a 6 months program for 30 to 50K, depending on whether you want it on a fast track module or whether you'd like it in a cohort. The maximum number of people in any cohort should be 5 people to 1 mentor, and that has already been established. We focus on planning out your career, upskilling you with new skills like co-mediation, and then we source our own private mediations and offer them to our mentees during the process. The benefit is it is definitely a fully developed program. It's taken a few years, but here we are. It is overseen by the committee, which you had met earlier. And unfortunately, for those who like jumping onto things quickly, that's not how we work at DR Hub. The cohorts are restricted to twice a year, where we do it in May and then in October. Now, those are your routes. Excuse me. Those are your routes. And if you are thinking about you want to broaden your networks beyond Kenya and beyond Africa, mine is for you to always have a plan. You can pick any of these options, but based on the type of mentor that you will choose, then you afford yourself more opportunities than the focus areas or the pros that I have mentioned within here. Now, that being said, there are some very frequently asked questions that we deal with whenever we are having these discussions in-house. For starters, if you would like to access the details of any particular mentor at the DR Hub panel, but you don't want to do the program, is it possible? Yes, it is. You can write us an email, give us your details of what you want to achieve, where you're located, and we will filter that database and provide contacts. We do not limit our panel mediation mentors. They are open to pursue other mentees outside the program, but we will not have oversight of you. So that will be a direct engagement between you and a mentor. When do we offer our cohorts? That's in May and October. Do we as DR Hub offer for mediation case observation? Yes, we do. We did not allow it, but now in May, we will roll it out just because we have currently shifted our offices to somewhere new, somewhere with much more space that can accommodate several sessions at the same time. Now, our first priority always goes to our members and our mentees within our program. But yes, we will offer observations to any mediator who is out there looking to achieve observations. If you just need accreditation, a key question for many, does the program guarantee it? So all of the things that I've mentioned as routes will allow you accreditation, but you need to ensure that you can meet the standards. The accreditation standards are in the respective guidelines. If you're looking for them, please make sure you visit the judiciary website and you get all the details on MARC accreditation standards. Now, lastly, and very, very, can I call it controversial, is whether one should pay or not for mentorship. I argue that whether it is time or whether you are using money, there is always a cost to learning anything and undergoing a process. You are the one to determine how high a cost you are willing to pay for it. But at any point, it should have a plan, it should have accountability, and it should have an expectation of when you should achieve those results as a bare minimum. Now, allow me to pause there and open the floor to anyone who has questions. I will stop sharing my screen. I will look at the chat, or if you would like, you can raise your hands and we will answer your questions. Anyone with a question, you can raise your hand, and currently you are allowed to unmute yourselves to ask any question. Door is open. Anyone extremely brave to ask for others?
I have a question.
Yes, Penina, please proceed.
Hi. So on the mentorship, the person who is mentoring, not the mentors, the only, okay, is it discussed between the mentee and the mentor on the sessions and how long it will last, or is it just for one session and that's it? For example, if I needed a mentor and are they basically holding my hand throughout the career, or is just for one session, give me a plan and advise me, then that's it?
All right, thanks, Penina. If you're choosing an ad hoc mentor just very randomly, and your goal is to get the mediation session experience, and that's it, then it is limited to that one session. Ideally, I believe the most successful mentorships take time. So it can be 6 months or beyond. And ideally, you'd have someone to support you through your journey up to a particular point. So on a personal level, for me, when I am mentoring, I know I am investing anywhere between 9 months or 12 months on this person until they achieve their given goals. But for other people, it might just be one and off. You have a lot of power to determine the nature of your relationship, Penina.
Thank you, understood.
Great. So Penina has asked for many. Anyone else would like to ask a question? Remember, you're free to unmute yourselves.
Hello, if I may.
Yes,
So you've talked
Njoroge.
about, yeah, you've talked about observation, and I didn't quite get what's the context about observation from people outside the mentorship program, or is that possible even?
All right. So, Njoroge, thanks for your question. Observation sessions that I was describing is where yourself, for example, are interested to just have an experience of mediation cases where you can observe what actually happens. And this is private cases, because I mentioned that at DR Hub, we focus on private mediation matters. So if you're interested in just that, getting a feel of how does this actually happen, I was confirming that yes, in the month of May, we will be open to receiving anyone who would like to undergo that particular observation. So we commonly call it observations because you will not actively participate as a third party, but with the blessings of the parties and the mediator, you'd be allowed to sit in and observe. Njoroge, I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
All right. Karibu sana. Kellen, you're unmuted. Do you have a question?
Yes. I wanted to ask, now you've talked about May and October. So am I paying for appearing in those spaces for me to begin that form of or kind of mentorship?
All right. So Kellen, if it is the DR Hub program, that, as you say, May and October, when we start our cohorts, then yes, you would. It is not 100% payment. You have an option of doing your installments. And we do have a form that you fill out just listing how would you like to undergo this particular program. So is it fast track, which at DR Hub means it's one-on-one. You will never be paired with anyone else except your mentor, or you would like to do a cohort, which means you have a chance of having at least 4 other people plus your mentor who you work with throughout the 6 months before you graduate.
Okay.
All right. So that's Kellen. Anyone else have a question before I check the chat?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, Vicky.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you so much, Daktari, for that quite captivating teaching on mentorship.
Yes.
I am a young graduate. I just graduated in November last year, and I would be interested to be mentored. I didn't hear the amount of money that we are paying for the mentorship. And I hear it's 6 months, but I don't know how much you paid. You said we pay. And is it for all the fields that are there, or is it particular fields? Let's say, am I being mentored for family, or do I choose what to be mentored, or will my mentor choose the one that they want to mentor me in? Because there are very many fields of mediation. Is it commercial? Is it family? Is it children? Is it couples? So who chooses to what I should go through? Now, for my case, whom I'm just a young person, whom just have left mediation and have not had any practice.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vicky, for your question. So let me start with who chooses your area of expertise. For all the routes that I listed, whether it is ad hoc, a training institution, court annexed, or DR Hubs programs, you have the power to choose the area of expertise. So For example, before you select this mentor, you will have looked at what do they do mostly. So do they mostly do family? Do they mostly do commercial? The difference for DR Hub is for us, you will be exposed to the variety of cases that we handle, which includes commercial mediations, family mediations, and sometimes family and commercial, because a very good repertoire of our clients are family-owned businesses. Now, with regards to payments, if it is the DR Hub program, it is 30,000 to 50,000, depending on how you take the program. If it is judiciary, it is recommended to be zero, completely free. But please prepare yourself that your mentor may ask for chai na something else. So just to prepare yourselves. If it is a training institution, again, it might be included in the charge or might start at 5,000. And if it is just one-on-one, can be as little as 2,000. So Vicky, I hope nime tick all your questions.
Thank you so much, Daktari, but I'm saying
Yeah.
that 2,000 will take me how long? Is it one session? Or is it the 6 months that you talked about?
Okay, so for DR Hub, it is the 6 months. For court, it is as you agree with your mentor. For training institution, it is for the period of the training, which is 1 month or 3 months. And then the 2,000, it might be for every meeting. That's the most common thing we have seen.
Okay, sorry to keep asking.
It's okay.
We don't know many mentors in the field. So how are we supposed to know who now, like we've come across you, Daktari, as a mentor? So how many other people are in the field who are doing mentorship?
Wow, Vicky, very many. So one, for example, for ourselves, we have a panel. If you'd like your entire list of who is in our panel, we can afford you that if you write us an email, and you can look at them one by one to see what their profiles look like. But there are very many mentors out there. I can tell you top of my mind, I already know over 50. There is no centralized area that lists mentors. So I always recommend do your research. If you know someone, ask them for their name, ask them for their qualifications, and then you can do the research of this person by yourself before committing to it. Vicky, are you good now?
Yes, Daktari, thank you very much. I appreciate.
Karibu. Hannah, I know you are unmuted. Before you ask your question, can I run through the chat first?
It's fine.
Thank you, Hannah. So there are some questions about, are there certifications at the end of DR Hub programs? Yes, they are. So when you go through our mentorship, you will receive a certificate. When you go through any of our courses or workshops, there is a certificate. Is there a criteria with which one gets to choose their mentor in a case they're not sure of the path to take? Yes, under our program, we have identified areas of practice, both regionally and areas of practice based on what they do. So this criteria allows you to select your mentor based on what you know about them. And now with the common mistakes people face, I have seen the biggest mistake people make is not doing your due diligence. When you do not research your mentor and you jump into it, then it is almost always going to fail because you have no idea what they have done or whether they are a good fit for you. So the research and the due diligence means you're taking time to understand if you two are a good meet and match. That's the greatest challenge I've seen. Second thing is your lack of a plan. You jump into it, you don't know what you'd like, and then when it doesn't meet your expectations, because a plan means expectations, a plan means methods of thinking of how to achieve. And without it, then you're sure to not achieve what you want. Hannah, over to you.
Thank you. What I have realized is that you have talked about how much you charge for mentorship.
Yes.
I don't know whether you do training and then mentorship, and how much does it cost to train and then mentor? And the other question I had is it everybody or anybody who can come for mentorship? Because maybe here we have people who have been doing mediation. They have been accredited by MAC. Are they also expected to do further mentorship? Yet they were mentored so that they were accredited.
Thank you, Hannah. So for starters, DR Hub is very unique. We do not train anyone to become a mediator. We take you after you're already a mediator. Our focus at the Hub is fine-tuning your skill set and experiences as a mediator already. So we do not train people to become mediators. We focus on upskilling you. So that is why I only focused on us from a mentorship perspective. That is one. Two, all of the courses that we offer, they upskill you. They add to the already existing qualification. So for example, online dispute resolution, co-mediation, those are the things that we offer as courses. So you will find for people who want to sharpen their digital skills and mediation, online dispute resolution is important for them. For those who want to gain experience about how to co-mediate with someone, either for the purposes of mentorship, co-mediation is important to them. So that's where we meet with you. Hannah, I hope that answers your question, that we will only see you once you're already trained.
Yes, and maybe further to that, I would ask, is there a way that you can do this through online, or one has to be physically there?
For the courses themselves?
And also mentorship.
Okay, so our mentorship is you will have a virtual option or a physical option. It is up to you to decide. Once you choose virtual, it means your mentor is also virtual and it will stick to virtual. If it is physical, then you will be meeting with your mentor. There is flexibility. You will determine with your mentor how to meet, but it is physical, either at the mentor's offices or our offices. Our offices are always open to our mentees, our mentors, and our members. Anna, are you okay now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Anyone else have a last question? I am just checking the chat, and I am also going to write the email address and the phone number you can reach out to in case you have any questions. Lydia, do you have a question?
Yes, Madam, thank you very much. Thank you for this enlightenment. I wanted to know more about this. I'm asking, okay, some of us, we are doing mentoring, and I have not done it so much, but at least 1 or 2 people or 3. And I was just wondering whether, since we do it according to how we do it for us to get the cases through, is there a kind of a framework for mentoring that perhaps you could offer us as a summary to be more knowledgeable and to be more skillful about this particular practice? The other one is, the number 2 is, I am asking the criteria you use to get your mentors, not mentees.
Right. So Lydia, is there a criteria? So I think I'll refer to the guidelines that we have established at DR Hub. We have our own mentorship guidelines. It's a whole document or manual on how to engage with mentors and mentees. It is not out there for public consumption yet, but this question tells me maybe it is something we should share for more of you to learn. For our mentors, we recruit mentors who we then train to be mentors, so they are certified to do our program. And we look for people with minimum of 5 years of experience who have active practice of a minimum of 5 to 6 cases in a year. So these are individuals who we know we can rely on them, because through the mentorship program, it is expected that the mentees will undergo actual cases. So those are the people we select to be our mentors. And we train them, we ensure they understand proper best practices, and then they are the ones we now release within our program, and they're accessible to you all. If you email us, we can do that and give you their contacts. Lydia, are you okay now? Madam Lydia? All right. Yes, did you get my response?
Because I don't know what happened. As soon as I finished my question, my machine switched off. I am just back. If only you could do a summary for me, please.
Yes, the summary is: one, we have guidelines at DR Hub. They're not out there for public consumption, but I think we will discuss with the committee. I will take it back to our committee to prepare a document for public consumption. Our mentors, minimum of 5 years of experience, minimum 5 to 6 cases a year, so that they have active practice. Those are our mentors. I've written our email address, disputeresolutionhub@gmail.com, and a phone number you can call. You will get further directions if you need.
Okay, come again, please, for the mail, for email.
Email is in the chat. Just look at the chat button. The details are there.
Thank you.
Now there's a question, last one. Do we charge for observations? Yes. I said observations would start in May, but it is only 1,000 bob per day. So it is not limited to per case, it is per day. So if you come to our offices in the morning, you are scheduled to have an observation or two. That entire day will only cost you 1,000 bob. Because I mentioned that it starts in May, we will be releasing that information. So no need to stress about how to achieve or reach us. When the time is good, we have your contacts, we will share that with you. Great. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for listening. I know this is a topic we could speak about for many, many hours on end. Mine is to say, please write us an email. We will be sharing the recording with you for points of reference, but drop us an email if you need guidance. If you're thinking about who are the best mentors for you, again, drop us an email and we will be able to guide you, or give us a call, or even come drop by the office and have this discussion with any of my team members. For us, the vision is to support as many practitioners as possible along the way. I fondly remember how I started, the people who supported me, and I have been grateful to them for that. The least I can do is shed light for many others along the way. So do not hold back. At DR Hub, we are about sharing deeply, widely, as much as we know without restrictions. But for now, I must say, have yourselves a good evening and a good night.
Thank you.